Today we will be talking about UX of AI and why it matters, the user experience of artificial intelligence and why it matters. So just a quick show of hands, how many of you have worked with UX designers or in the UX field before? Okay, good. Awesome, good to know. So just to go on with our presentation, will be a bit unique because it won't be as technical as the other ones. And I think it will time really well because it will settle down very nicely during the lunchtime hour, so you won't have to think too much about it. So just to introduce ourselves, I'm Numan Siddiqui. I'm a UX manager at Balan. I come from a UX design background with over 12 years of experience.
And I'm Maria Acevedo, UX architect and specializing in conversational user interfaces. I'm part of the Toronto studio team in Alana.
And I would also like to thank Global AI Bootcamp and for Microsoft to host us for today. So we're going to introduce our chapters today of what we will be talking about in the next 40 to 45 minutes. First, we're going to take you through a very brief introduction to user experience, what it is in a nutshell. And we're going to talk about then UX of AI, just the basic design principles. Then Maria will talk to you guys more about conversational user interfaces, also known as CUIs. And towards the end, we're going to talk about why does this matter? Why are we here today? So what you can gather after this presentation of why UX for AI really matters. So introduction to UX. So basically, in a nutshell, we would like to show you a brief video of Don Norman's definition of user experience, where he said that user experience in a nutshell is everything. So and that's a broad statement to make actually, but when we play this video, you can see what he touches upon is basically UX is not about just websites or design, it's basically like the whole of a system that touches the user's touch points in different platforms or different services. And to give a brief intro to Don Norman, he's basically, you can call him the Yoda or godfather of user experience design as we know it for today. And he's also the co-founder of Nielsen Norman Group, and he was also the first user experience architect hired by Apple back in the 1990s. So let's quickly play this video and see what his definition is.
Hi, I'm Angie Lee, and I'm here at the UX conference in San Francisco. I'd like to ask Don Norman what he thinks about the term UX.
Once upon a time, a very long time ago, I was at Apple. And we said the experience of using these computers is weak. The experience, when you first discover it, when you see it in the store, when you buy it, when you can't fit it into the car, it's in this great big box, it doesn't fit into the car. And when you finally do get it home, you open the box up and, it looks scary, I don't know if I dare put this computer together. All of that is user experience. It's everything that touches upon your experience with the product, and it may not even be the product. It may be you're telling somebody else about it. That's what we meant when we devised the term user experience and set up what we call the user experience architect's office at Apple to try to enhance things. Now, Apple was already pretty good, so we were starting with a good product, making it even better. Today, that term has been horribly misused. It's used by people to say, I'm a user experience designer, I design websites, or I design apps, and they have no clue as to what they're doing, and they think the experience is that simple device, the website, or the app, or who knows what. No, it's everything. It's the way you experience the world, it's the way you experience your life, it's the way you experience the service. Or, an app, or a computer system, but it's a system that's everything. Got it?
So the key takeaway from the video for me is usually when he mentions it, that it's a system that's everything. So moving on with my slide, I will use that term a lot. It's a system, even AI systems or even any systems that we develop that users are interacting with, regardless of their touch points. So it doesn't have to be a UI, it can be a service that they experience. So what matters is basically UX is everything, and which also means that UX is not just responsibility of just one person, as an organization, it's almost like a team sport. So the next thing I would like to show you guys is about UX design. Now when it comes to UX design, there are certain deliverables associated with the field of UX design. However, there's a misconception that UX designers in general just work on basically user interface design or visual design. And one of my personal favorites is that they make things look pretty. So I'm sure most of you have heard of that before. However, that's not really accurate, because that's just a tip of iceberg. If you think about it, and if you study the UX design field, you will discover that there's a lot more than meets the eyes. So we start basically from research, and we go into requirements gathering for our user requirements, we do information architectures, we prototype, we do wires. So there's a lot that goes on before we actually come to that user interface design phase. So in the next 45 minutes, we're going to go over each one of these and take a deep dive and see what you guys think. Or we can skip that, or we'll just go to our next topic, because we only have 40 minutes. So we'll cover chapter 2 now, which is UX design of AI, and we'll discuss the basic principles in this chapter. So in the essence of time, we thought it would be just good to cover the basic ones. Usually we cover all of these, but we can do it in a different presentation some other time. But we will be focusing on purposeful, recognize or recognition, simplify, and feedback. So these principles, by the way, basically these are based on UX research, cognitive psychology. And cognitive psychology, for those who don't know, is basically the understanding and study of human attention, human limitations with the mind, and memory with short-term memory and long-term memory. So it's based on those principles. So the first one we will discuss is purposeful. So basically, when as developers, for example, if you guys are working on your next AI project, making sure that before you start, making sure that product you're creating is purposeful, it has meaning to it, and it is useful for the users, which essentially solves a problem for them. So basically, making AI useful and purposeful for users is the reasons for its value. So as an example, I would like to showcase this app, it's called Daiichi Health App. It's a Japanese insurance company that created it around like a couple of years ago, and then Accenture actually made it enhanced for their users just last year. And some of the neat features that make it purposeful is that first it allows the users to take a photo of themselves through their regular phone, and then it actually simulates the way they might look in the next 50 to 60 years based on their current health. And it also factors in, so let's say you're a smoker or you drink a lot, it actually factors those elements and it shows you a more accurate picture of that according to your current health and how it might be in the next 20, 30 years. Another example is Pepper. How many of you have seen Pepper before in action? Yes, yeah. So that's a cute little robot that was developed by SoftBank Robotics in Japan. And it's used by thousands of people in Japan as mostly receptionists, as caretakers for the elderly at home. It also works as in restaurants as a waiter. And it has a purposeful journey, especially because it's helping people fulfill their goals. Next is recognition. So basically, this is where a lot of this machine learning discussion is based on. But basically, from a UX point of view, how easily recognizable is a system? So how easily can it recognize, for example, visual images, spatial images, natural language understanding? So this is an example from Microsoft Cognitive Services. So this is a picture from our holiday parties a few weeks ago. And when I uploaded to the platform there, and when I click on my face, which is right there on the right, it actually shows me what the age is, what the emotion is, which is pretty accurate. So it's a good example of showing accuracy of how well it recognizes the person's recognition. And I was pretty surprised when I looked at the results, because they were mostly accurate for most of these faces. Now there's a flip side, however, to this, because sometimes the system is not very good at recognizing. So how many of you have experienced that in the past where you're telling something to Siri or Google or in AI in your car for voice activation and it keeps on saying, oh, pardon, can you repeat that? So that's the part which we want to avoid. So making sure the system is designed and tested for accessibility, inclusion, and recognition of accents. That's something I was actually listening to Kabul's presentation before this, and he was mentioning the broader view of the audience, because it's not like that these systems exist only in Canada or North America. So we have to factor in tons of other countries around the world where this is rolled out, basically. So we have, and each country has its own dialect. For example, India has over like 20 official languages with various dialects in it. So how do you recognize those? So making sure the system is recognizing all of that. So how many of you have seen this video by the Scottish elevator? Yeah. So for those of you who haven't, I'll say a very brief clip. Now the interesting part is that this video came out in 2010, where voice activation was just on the radar. And people actually foreseed during that time that how challenging it could be for some people to interact with these devices. So I'm going to play a clip when these guys are stuck in a voice-activated elevator and how they're trying to struggle with that.
Open the doors, please. Please. Pathetic.
Please remain calm.
Just wait for it to speak.
You have not selected a floor.
America, I'm going to fight for it about this. I just give you a voice, and I'm going to go to electric chair for you. Scotland! 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 Got up.
So as you can see, that's a good example when things start going south, and so that shows you the even further need to focus on the recognition well, so it doesn't create so much friction with your users. So the next principle we will talk about is anticipation or anticipatory principle. So basically this is about if the system is anticipating and predicting user behavior in a effective way, it knows their preferences and learns from their habits, routines, and patterns. So as an example, when I just got the Google Home last year, I asked, what is my wife saying? And he said, well, I don't know, but if you tell me, I'll remember. So basically, based on your patterns and your habits, it remembers that information. So basically, to anticipate it is a good principle for UX of AI. As an example, Gmail right now, if you use Gmail most of the time, it uses the subject line of your previous emails and your email message, and it encodes them in a way where it anticipates your response. So this is an example. So for example, if you're writing an email to your friend, it gives you assistance by what you are going to write in context of what the previous conversation and what the subject line is. So that's a great principle of anticipating the user's response. So the next one is simplifying. This is a really big one in UX in general. So basically, we are, at the end of the day, human beings. We have limited attention span, we have limited memory span. So if we are able to simplify all that information for the users, it's always effective. So basically, if the system is simplifying information, speech controls, actions, which overall reduce the cognitive load. So cognitive load is basically how much information you can absorb at one given time. So basically, if you're using an AI that looks really cluttered, it won't fly too well because there is too much to absorb. So basically, the AI system should be able to predict of how much information is good for a human to understand at one given time. As an example, this is an example of a smart gadget called Nest. It's a smart thermostat, and basically you can see how simple the controls are, so there aren't a lot of actions you have to observe. You can quickly see the temperature. When you leave, it remembers your settings, and as you come, it bases it on your user behavior and it predicts it accordingly, and it doesn't give you too much information. It uses good use of visuals and iconography, and that's what makes it more simplified. Lastly, we're going to talk about feedback. This is another big one actually as well, because feedback, without providing any feedback, even if it's like a human interaction, if you ask a question to someone, or if they don't provide you or guide you, that's not really a good user experience or interaction experience. So same thing with UX of AI. So providing and handling proactive help, feedback, validation, when faced by errors and success is really essential for an AI system to do. So as an example, if you are using an app like this, at the end, it should ask you for feedback or how it did. Because next time, it will remember those and it adds them to your patterns and relationships. At this time, I would like to invite Maria, my colleague, to talk to you guys about the next topic.
Thank you, Norman. Welcome, everyone. So I'm going to talk about one of the topics that most of us we are working or is very common nowadays. Those are the conversational user interfaces. This technology is very important because it's changing the way how people are communicating with each other and with other services throughout the internet. So for today, I'm going to tell you how to create a great experience to design a proper conversational user interface. Yeah, there we are. So let's start defining what a conversational user interface is. Those are virtual assistants that were designed, or bots, that were designed to simulate a human conversation. Well, these technologies bring us a lot of opportunities to design or improve our services and communication across all our environment. And some of the, wait, what's happening? Yeah, there we are. And some of the benefits that we can get by using them are improving our customer service by creating specialized interactions to our customers. The other one is solve frequent problems quickly without wasting a lot of time looking for a solution. Just a simple word, it might resolve your issue. How many of you have been spending a lot of time in your banking or help desk, like waiting for the line? Just ask to the bot and then you might have the solution. Another one is reduce company resources. That doesn't mean that we are not going to use human interaction. We are going to move these another resources like time, money, and people for sure to design another innovative experiences. And finally, to create memorable experiences for our customers. That's one of the most important things when we are designing any kind of product for humans. Okay, so when we are designing for a conversational user interface, we have to follow a set of these 6 elements that will be part of the anatomy of our bot. So first, we need to have a purpose. What is the objective of our product? What are going to be the needs of the problems that we are going to resolve? Following by who are going to be our users? How are they going to use it? And another part is the personality and the conversations. Those are the way how the conversation, what is going to, the words or the dialogue that our bot is going to use. And we have rich interactions, we have data. Without data we cannot work, especially with these tools. And the artificial intelligence. Okay, so when we are designing the personality, it's like designing a movie character. We have to, as I mentioned before, those conversational interfaces are simulating human conversations, which means that we have to add a set of characteristics that make us feel that we are interacting with something that has the same human patterns of communication, and then makes us feel more close to them. Another thing is the tone of voice of the vocabulary. This is a way, or the words that our bot is going to use to express their ideas. Yeah. And followed by the language that is connected with the place where we are designing or we're going to launch that product, because we can create a box or a product that speaks in English, but that doesn't mean in all parts of the world it's going to speak the same slang or the same jokes in English. And another important is the emotions. When we are communicating between the computer and the human being, we have to connect by emotions. So our user is concerned, is sad, is worried about something, our tool has to have the ability to answer in a proper way to these emotions, and then we can connect with it. So when we are creating the personality, we can create a set of adjectives that help us to illustrate all these elements. We can share if it's excited, if it has to be polite, helpful, all these elements that help us to enrich the conversation. Another part of the personality is the name. It's a very important feature, as well as the gender that we are going to give it to our bot. Name could be a simple association with our product or brand. It also has to be easy to pronounce, easy to remember, and the other element is the gender definition. What I recommend is create a neutral gender character, but we can add feminine or masculine features that makes you feel like we're connecting with our character. And finally, the logo or an icon. As you see, I know if you have opportunity to talk with different bots. It could be voice assistants or chatbots, etc. Some of them are using icons, some of them are using just typography or even human representation. It's all about how would you like to engage with your customer, how close you want to create that experience. Okay, so once we have the personality, we start creating the conversation. This is a dialogue. And we're going to start with the warning, that's the opening part of the conversation, where we're going to add elements such as, where we're going to introduce people like, hello, in the case this is Ada, this is the chatbot for internal Avanat service. We're going to present what are the things or tasks that our bot can do for our customer, and some other elements that would be useful for the user to start understanding how it's going to interact with this character. Another one is the functionality scripting. That those are the different paths of the conversation that we can take. We can create happy paths where we would like to take the user to the end of the conversation, but also we have to create different paths or flows where we can take the user to contact a live service or get help in another area or learn more about another product. So we have to design all kinds of patterns that our user can take during the conversation. Another useful part is include the help and support. Our customer, our user, are going to speak with a computer. So sometimes the bot cannot have the answers for everything, and we need to provide a way how the user can solve their issues during the conversation. So we can add features like get frequent questions, answer some questions during the conversation, or even connect with the live assistant during the dialogue. Another useful part that I recommend to include is the feedback. We would like to learn how was the performance of our bot when it is interacting with the users. So we can add even the feedback as a feature as part of the conversation or any other element or graphic element during the interface. Then the user can provide us some comments about their performance. And finally, the ending. This is a nice to have in the conversations. Not all the bots have it. But if you are following a natural conversation or simulated a natural conversation, at the end when you say goodbye to someone else, you have an ending in your conversation. But it's all about the scope of your bot, if you want to do it just by task or you want to have a more natural conversation. Next one. Okay. In order to improve the conversation, because we are going to have a dialogue, like one-on-one conversation with the machine, we can add other features such as buttons, links, maps, emojis. I love to talk with emojis every time. Notifications, etc. So all these elements will help you to connect more with your audience. Okay, next one. There. And finally, we have the artificial intelligence. We have the natural language understanding, that it depends how, at the beginning, the bot takes some time to learn the different patterns of the communication, but at the end, it will be able to get a proper conversation and be more intelligent, or more smarter during the dialogue. We have prediction and anticipation that Norman already talked about it. The emotional analysis, this is my favorite, because as I mentioned before, we had to add some patterns about emotional design to our bot. So with artificial intelligence, it gives us opportunity that the computer can read a pattern of words that express a specific feeling in the conversation and reply with a proper text that support that feeling to our customer. In my previous experience, I worked with a bot where we started using or analyzing the emotions on the text, and it was very surprising how they can recognize if our text were neutral or were positive or what's happening in the conversation. So, so those are the elements that you have to consider when you are designing a conversational user interface. Maybe you won't do it by your own, but it's important to consider when you are designing one, or bring someone from teams of experience design to help you to design all these elements. Okay, that's turn.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. So this is like the last chapter of our presentation for today. So why UX of AI really matters. In this section, we're going to talk briefly about just a quick stat and some quick analogy that I would like to present to you guys. So the stat, basically, we have gathered is from Gartner research, where it predicts that by 2021, more than 50% of enterprises will spend more on bots and chatbots than traditional mobile app development. So this provides further case to focus even more on UX and the interaction design experience that the AI system and the bots, chatbots will have their users. To further support that, I'm a huge advocate of analogies, so I hope you guys like them too. So an analogy I would like to give you is this. So problems arise when you nurture an AI experience without any focus on personality. So how many of you have either read or seen this? How many? Oh, just 3? Come on. Frankenstein. All right. Now, here's the trick question. How many of you remember the name of the creature that Victor Frankenstein created? Anyone? Well, that's interesting because I don't remember either. There's a good reason for that, because he never named him. He never gave a name to him. He never bothered shaping a personality of a creature that he created. So, in a way, what we are trying to explain with this analogy is even the AI experience improves and enhances and becomes much smoother when we create with a focus on personality and character. And sometimes I wonder when I read that book, it's very close to my heart. I've read it a few times and I've seen the movies. Sometimes I wonder if the creature that Victor Frankenstein created, which was dubbed by its people of those times as a monster, and we still remember him as a monster, if there was a focus on personality and character, if he could have been more purposeful in his life, or maybe of service to others, or perhaps have a more greater message to work with humanity, And I sometimes wonder if that was maybe Mary Shelley was referring to when she wrote that novel almost 200 years ago. With her original title, was she referring to him as the modern Prometheus? Was the original title of the book Frankenstein or the modern Prometheus? So, to conclude, Maria will just give you a summary, and then I'm going to show you a sum up of our presentation.
So with this, the UX helps us to focus in more channels of communication to enrich the conversations or the interaction that we want, or the message that we're going to share. These new technologies, conversation interfaces, they are very important and very popular right now, and in the following years, and with the artificial intelligence, they're going to be a very powerful tool to communicate with any kind of customer or user. And it's very important to include all these UX principles that help us to design a proper and more organic product to our final users. So,
Great. So this is like the last slide, and we have some time. So after this, we will open it up for a few questions as well. So to sum it all up, it is true, from the presentations you have seen today so far, a lot of them are technical. They take you through machine learning. It is without any doubt, AI technology is definitely based on patterns, relationships, big data, complex algorithms, programming languages, analytics. But we always have to remember, especially those of you who are developers, is when you guys are creating those future AI systems, you have to remember that in the core of it, you have principles to follow that shape the personality and the character of the UI or the AI. And these principles define that personality for them. The good part is that when you focus on these principles that Maria and I have discussed today, it helps us bring human to AI experience much more smoother, and it enables us to work together in a much more emotional way, and it creates that emotional connection between humans to AI. So thank you all for your time. You guys have been great, so we will open it up for a few questions if you like. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. It was a great talk. I'm curious, the personality piece makes a lot of sense to me. Same as any brand, you establish the brand that you want for a product. I'm curious about your earlier slide where you talked about the importance of, or the criteria of gender being identified. And then I guess I have various opinions about that, and I can see where there's pros to that and cons to that. And I'm curious why you included that, and do you think it's possible to achieve the goal of personality and relatability without that piece being included because of the areas where it can potentially be problematic? I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
So Maria would love to ask you.
For that part, it's I topic talk about the gender. I work in a project where we didn't want to have a female character, so don't you dare. So it was 3 women against 3 males. Saying no, we want a female assistant. Why should we? So in this case, when we are creating a character, there's a lot of issues about what is the interpretation that we're going to give it by giving a gender, a proper gender. So the problem here is it's all about what is the final scope of your project for sure, and the best way is to give it a neutral, as much as possible, a neutral name or category, but also, as I mentioned, adding these attributes that give it some feminine touch or a little bit masculine touch without saying that it's one gender defined. So it's one of the things that you have to have a lot of careful about when you are especially designing the conversation. When we are in the chat, it's more easy to get the neutral balance of this, but when it's voice assistant, you might give it a voice. There's most of the virtual assistants are feminine characters, but they have the option to switch for a male voice. But most of them are connected with the female gender. there is some other elements like supports, like people feel more comfortable with a feminine character because they're more attentive, more sensitive, etc. But I think it's something that it might be changing little by little. It's about to start educating a neutral gender technology. It's what we call neutral gender technology. Yeah. Can I answer? Okay. Any other questions?
Any questions?
So you are ready to design your bot? Sure?
And if you guys have further questions, we are from Avanade, we do have a booth right outside. So, and watch out for our other speakers. We have Matthias presenting to you guys soon. So thank you all for your time today. You guys have been a fantastic audience. Thank you.